We've already started. James is here. We've been talking about his media watch for at least 30 seconds before you've joined us. Gérard Depardieu, that's the reason why we're talking. Of course, the French actor taking residency in Belgium to avoid tax. It's legal, he can do it, but it's kicked up quite a stink.
That's right. This morning's Libération, sure, we already know tomorrow's edition at this point, but this morning's one set a lot of conversation, set a lot of the day's conversation. Le mannequin fisc. Now, fisc in French means tax, so it's a reference to his tax evasion, and of course it's also a reference to that, well, not of course, because it's quite obscure actually, Le mannequin pisse, which is one of the premier symbols of Belgium.
It's one of the sights people see in Brussels,
That's right.
isn't it?
This little guy peeing.
Oh, yeah.
And some people are saying, could it have been a reference to headlines such as this back in 2011? No, you can't. Oui, here, monsieur. Gérard Depardieu gets caught short in a plane. That was on an EasyJet flight.
This is when he peed into a bottle,
to Dublin,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And got into big trouble over it on an aircraft. You know.
That's right. So some were saying, could it be a reference to that as well?
Yes, I think.
Probably.
Good
in
headline
any case,
writing.
This is the house that he's bought in the town of Nechin, in 1 kilometre from the French border. So he's certainly not trying to go too far. And many are saying it's not exactly the nicest looking place you've ever seen in your life. But if you look at it from satellite, he does have a swimming pool. So ça va.
Okay,
he'll be all right. And now some people, such as this socialist deputy, Yann Galou, are saying, you know what, strip them of their passports. Guys like this, such as Gérard Depardieu, we have others such as Johnny Hallyday, the famous singer. He's taken up residence, I believe, in Switzerland. Another man who got an offer.
He is Belgian, isn't he?
He's Belgian.
By birth, he's a Belgian. He's Belgian, so
he's just going around.
It gets more confusing, doesn't it?
So his solution is just to strip them of their nationality. Now, the reason this is, I suppose, interesting timing-wise is Bernard Arnault, who is the head of LVMH. He also made the front page of Libération just 2 to 3 months ago because of the same thing. Now that says "Casse-toi, riche con."
Yeah, it's quite rude.
Get
It
lost.
means go away, rich, stupid person.
Adding a few
Imagine
layers
the
of
really
rudeness.
rude version, and you're getting there. It's amazing that gets on the front page of a newspaper, isn't
That's
it?
it. No, Libération seems
but
to be
of course,
on a
it echoes
charge.
the words of Sarkozy several years ago, where he said to someone "Casse-toi, pauvre con" when they refused to shake his hands.
And somebody was saying earlier, Libération front pages, you'd need kind of to cross-reference about 6 or 7 different stories, or they're very layered these days. They're not exactly internationally.
We don't only get sort of what's happening in the news here, we get some culture too. That's James Creed, and that's the added value of this man.
Well, there you go. Now, speaking of other difficult to unpack issues, the UMP party, God, where do you start? Now, the latest story today is that there's going to be a referendum. There was a vote, in fact, held by MPs. I don't think we know the result of that yet, because this has been going on for 3 weeks, the battle between those two photographed gentlemen, François Fillon, former Prime Minister, who contests the election of Jean-François Copé as the head of the party.
This was just a political party leadership election, which has now developed into this massive story.
Unbelievable. And I think people in the party are shaking their heads because just some statistics. This headline here, first of all, Fillon and Copé continuing their spectacular fall. Statistics-wise, François Fillon has dropped 13% in the polls since the beginning of November. Jean-François Copé, 20%. The only person to see a spectacular drop, who has had a more radical tumble, is Dominique Strauss-Kahn. So,
yeah.
I mean, they are really shooting themselves in the feet here. In the meantime, the MPs in that party are saying, we've had enough of these shenanigans. We're going to have a referendum amongst ourselves to vote for whether or not we should have another leadership election before next summer. So they're kind of taking the power out of the hands of those leaders, contested leaders, for this decision.
Okay, people often come to Paris to enjoy themselves, and the phrase "Paris by night" or "Paris la nuit" is obviously well versed.
Yes,
that could be changing in certain quarters.
Well, Paris la nuit is part of this headline, Mark. Well anticipated, I suppose, because 5 bars in the centre of Paris, in the 10th arrondissement, in the Faubourg Saint-Denis neighbourhood, were shut down for a period of 10 days for causing too much noise. Now, this is one of relatively few nightlife hotspots in Paris. It's been gentrified quite rapidly in the last 10 years, and a lot of people are saying, hold on a minute, okay, yes, it's a densely populated area, a lot of central Paris is, but you have to allow these neighbourhoods to exist and to thrive and to whatever. So I suppose what's worth, besides, that's probably more my point of view, but let's take a look at the Facebook groups that have been set up. Faubourg Saint-Denis, that's the neighbourhood. What Neighbourhood for tomorrow. Now, this was set up by one guy who's been living in the neighbourhood for about 10 years, and he is in favour of keeping it a little bit calmer. 145 people have liked that page, i.e. not many. Now, if you look at this one, this has been going for quite a while. This is called La Nuit meurt en silence, when the nightlife dies, or when the night dies in silence. It's people who are saying, hold on a minute, the laws and the enforcement of those laws are far too strict. Bars are closed too frequently, and it's kind of asphyxiating the ability of Paris to kind of have to express itself in terms of nightlife.
How can Paris be a 24-hour party place if the bars close at 10 o'clock?
Well,
that's the
right.
bottom line,
That's
isn't it?
And I suppose cities such as Berlin, it's much smaller population, have gone way ahead in terms of offering fun in the evening time.
James,
so there you go.
James, try and find yourself a drink. It is late in Paris now. James Creedon with Media Watch.
I might follow your advice, Mark.
Thank you very much, sir. Good to see you. Stay with us. We've got all the news to come to sport and some culture after a short break.